For the righteous, Yahweh loveth righteousness. His countenance doth behold the upright. In Yahweh's name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Aman, aman. Beloved, first of all, we want to give honor to the Most High God, the Lord God of heaven, that keepeth covenants and mercies for them that love him and observe his commandments. Then to his Son, who is our King, our Savior, our Prince, our Apostle, our High Priest, whom the Father used to reconcile us back to himself. And then everybody that's with us, elders, mothers, brothers, sisters, children, even those online joining us. The scripture says the partakers of the heavenly calling, we thank God for each and every one of you, and also those that have not been awakened to the truth. We ask that the Most High bestow mercy upon them, that they can be awakened to the truth as we all were. All right. So we thank God. All right. We'll go into, start off first. Do we have any questions? Gotta remember to start saying that. Have any questions? All right. If we don't have no questions, we'll go right to our chapter reading. Chapter reading will be in Exodus chapter 24. Just a little recap from the last week or two. Remember in Exodus 20, we get our 10 commandments, and then after that, 21, it start giving us the judgments, things of that nature, right? If you steal somebody's oxen or you get killed by it, all those kind of things. It was giving those details about, some of our laws, which we see are principles that even we should live by today. Okay. Last chapter 23, it dived into, how we should deal with, judges, how they should be, and how we cannot bring, false matters and be lying on anybody's behalf, no matter who they are and things of that nature. And then it gets to further down, then it talks about the 3 feasts we must come up and what we're supposed to do. Well, not all that we're supposed to do, but it's talking about, the first fruits, leavened bread, those kind of things. All right. And now we are in chapter 24. We'll see how time permits. Okay. Let's do chapter 24, and let's see where we at after we're done. All right, chapter 24, and you can do the first 2 verses. Read the first 2 verses.
And he said unto Moses, come up unto Yahweh, thou, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near Yahweh, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with them.
All right. Do anybody know who Nadab and Abihu is? You get specific with chapter 24. Unto Moses, come up unto Yahweh, thou, and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. Who is Nadab and Abihu?
Aaron's sons.
Yes, Aaron's sons. All right.
Oldest sons.
Oldest sons. Good. All right. So they are his sons. Remember, thing about Aaron. Remember, he's starting that priesthood up. Okay. So that's telling you the lane that they're in. All right. Later on, something happens with them, but for right now, we just know them as Aaron's sons. Okay. Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. Okay. So bring them, right? You bring the 70, Aaron's 3 sons. All right. And you're going to be afar off. All right. You're going to worship afar off. Verse 2. And Moses alone shall come near to Yahweh, right? Why? But they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. Okay. Why do you think? Remember, I told you everything has a little message or, showing us something. Most High, just don't do things. Why do you think he had everybody, the 70 elders, Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, come to a certain spot, and then Moses going a little further? What is he showing or telling us here?
Anybody? Yeah, anybody? Okay. To me, it's showing that Moses is, I guess, more righteous enough, clean enough to come near Yahweh. Kind of remind me like a foreshadow of Christ when Mary tried to touch him, and he was like, "No, don't touch me yet, because I have to go to the Father." So he wanted to go up clean. I don't know, far-fetched. I don't know, but that's how I feel like it is for me.
No, it is showing that distinction, right? He come closer. Because what is Moses? What is he like? The sister basically gave the answer with it. What is Moses for? What was Moses for Israel? Definitely at this time. I'm trying to say it because there's more questions that come out. Say that again.
A mediator.
Yes. He is the mediator, right? Of what? The first covenant. And this is I'm glad those are here. It's good that you're here for this chapter. There's some stuff I say in passing, but you'll see some things clear in this chapter. He is the mediator, all right, of that first covenant. All right, we're doing the animal sacrifice. That he was the mediator. He said, we want to see that comes into play, right? But Christ is the mediator of what? A better covenant with better promises. That's why there's a lot of correlations we can see from Moses and Christ, right? Even from their birth, right? 2 years and under, what happened? They was killing off Israel. Christ coming to see what's happening. 2 years and under, they're killing off the males in Israel. Okay? With him, right? A lot of prophets can say they dealt with God at a certain measurement, right? But Christ actually what? Get to go to where God is. He's on the right. He's intimate. He get an intimate spot that we can't get to. No prophet got as close to the Most High like Christ did throughout any generation. So Moses is showing that same kind of replica for his generation, whatever. Moses got to that level. Not where Christ is. He's still below him. But he exceeded his brethren. Okay? Aaron and them could get to a certain level, but they couldn't get to what? Where the mediator's at. All right? So we want to see that little parallel between the two. Okay, remember that's why remember Aaron and Miriam, remember they was talking and saying, Moses, we deal with God too. Right? They was trying to put themselves on that same level, like you deal with God, but we deal with God too. And the Most High had to what? Come and smack them down, saying, whoa. I deal with y'all in visions and dreams. I deal with y'all with a lot of similitudes, maybe some parables and stuff through visions. But with Moses, I speak to him like face to face. Meaning I speak plainly to him. Say, y'all don't get it like that. Now we go to a higher scale with Christ. We didn't get it like how Christ gets it. Okay. We can get it maybe how maybe the apostles somebody get, but not like how Christ's doing it. So it's showing also, because remember, all this, he's in the volume of the book. So even these kind of things, he's showing himself. All right. Christ is being revealed in these things. Okay. All right. So 70 the elders worship. Moses shall come on there. Okay. So they shall not come near to him, neither shall the people go up with him. All right. So Moses ain't coming, neither nobody. He's saying nobody can go where Moses is going. All right. He's going to come by himself. Right. Anybody got any questions, comments, or anything for the first two verses? All right. Mother Kai, let's do the next two.
And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh have said, we will do. And Moses wrote all the words of Yahweh and rose up early in the morning and built an altar under the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel.
So Moses came, told the people the words, right? Remember the prophets and everything, they supposed to be what? Messengers. Delivered the message that the Most High gave them. Now, it didn't say, read that verse 3, that first part again, Brother Kai.
And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm. And that second, right after that little part.
And all the judgments.
Right there. Who gave us these laws, judgments, and statutes? Was it Moses or was it the Most High? Because you're going to hear a lot of people talk. But who gave it to us? Brother Val, you got off mute. What you got?
Oh, definitely Most High.
Because you see, what people will do, they will try to attach certain things to kind of dilute it, right? Because if I'm putting everything and attaching it to Moses, it's almost like, well, it's Moses, right? You can do it, but this is Moses stuff. I'm worried about serving God. I'm about what God told me to do. You under the bondage of Moses, and they don't understand how to decipher that and break that down properly, right? The Most High gave this to Moses. Moses wasn't there. You know what? I think the Sabbath is a good day for us. Yeah, let's do the Sabbath. Feast days. Yeah, let's do a couple of feast days throughout the. He wasn't doing that. He didn't have no conversation on how these laws are going to happen. His job is to hear what the Most High say, deliver that message to the people. Same thing, us teachers and preachers and people, if they got prophets, whatever. Anybody in that spiritual realm or leadership supposed to get the message from the Most High and deliver that message. You are not supposed to be in it. Where the church messes up because they see the message that the Most High has given us, and then they put their little spin on it. They put their little GMO on it. I know it says like this, but I'm gonna twist it like this. That's the problem. The church, the problem really ain't with God. It's with what? The people that's representing and messing up the message. Okay? So when we look at this, Moses got the word from God, the judgments from God. This is not his thoughts or opinions. Okay? And then when he gave the message, remember the same thing we went over last week, right? When we showing how the Father and Christ are not one and the same, but they work in unison. Remember what Christ said? He's saying, I don't speak my own words. I only say and do what the Father shows me. I'm only saying what he's telling me to say. He's just saying, I'm a parrot. I'm just giving y'all what the Father's saying. This ain't my doctrine. This ain't my commandments. But because I'm delivering it to you, you're putting it as it's mine. Just like when Moses delivered you the message and y'all put it, oh, this is Moses' law. See, it's the same kind of arguments because they're so similar. People use the same stuff. But what? No, they give the message of the Most High. Okay? So when you argue it, oh, Moses, I ain't doing that. So you wasn't arguing at Moses because Moses didn't do nothing, but just give you the message. You arguing at what? The person that gave it, and that's the Most High. That's why when you go against the words of God, you're going against him. Don't get caught up on the messenger, the teacher. Don't get caught up on that. You better look at the message and where that came from. Okay. So when Moses gave them the words and the judgments, it says all the people answer with one voice. See that one again, that one, right? Is why it's good we had that teaching, because now we know one voice, what? One consent, unity. Okay. It's that oneness. They spoke as one, agreeing and said, all the words which Moses has said, we will do. Is that what it says in verse 3? All the words which Moses has said, we will do. Oh, it says all the words which the Lord or Yahweh have said, will we do. So they knew where this was coming from. They can play games later, but they knew who was coming from and who they were what? They were agreeing to do. Okay, same thing with us. When we said we was going to serve the Most High, we wasn't doing it with conditions in mind. We knew where the message was coming from. Now, when your leader and everything acts like a jack, but he goes off, that don't mean now your commitment to the Most High falls off with that, because you didn't commit to what? Follow the man. You committed to follow what? Your Father which art in heaven. But they all agreed. What you said, that the Most High delivered you to get, we're going to do it. Okay? And so now Moses wrote all the words of it. You see, I keep saying it. He's just writing the words of what? Yahweh. Okay? And now he's building the hill. Okay? Because a lot of times we will put our place of worship on the hill. And pagans will do that. Heathens will do that. They'll take that too, right? Because there's symbolism as well, right? Look on the hill, right? It's above, you got to look up. It's kind of like that honor system. We down here, you're up here. You know, it's all these kind of things, even psychological, right? So we used to go on top of the hill or the mountains, whatever, right? And he had what? He had 12 pillars. What did the 12 pillars represent, beloved? What did the 12 pillars represent?
Tribes.
Right, the 12 tribes. Okay. Because that's his people, that's who he uses. What about everybody else in the world? Yes. But they have to go under what? That banner of the 12 tribes. All right. They was true. Any nation will truly serve God, they had to come under that banner. Okay. So he's doing it according to the 12 tribes of Israel. You could go to Revelation. Guess what? There's 12 gates, beloved. What are the 12 gates representing? I know they try to destroy it, but it's there. You got it here in the beginning. And then they talk about the spiritual kingdom, and it's still what? 12 tribes. So Israel always been in mind. All right. All right. Any questions or comments or anything we want to bring out from verse 1 through 4? All right. Brother Kai, let's read 5 and 6. Let me get some water.
And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, all that Yahweh has said, we will do and be obedient.
My forefather said it. All right. All right. That verse 5. All right. He sent the young men. All right. He used a lot of men. What's the reason why, it's talking about the 70 elders? He's grabbing these men and stuff. Why is he doing that? And they committing to it. Why is that important, right? Because we're supposed to know when it comes to us, right? Us that believe. I'm saying it, us that are believers, we know men have a certain role. Okay. And they got to commit to the, I don't want to say it before we get to it, but we have to commit to it for the house to be under it. Okay. Because remember, he has laws how to deal with family and certain things, right? There's certain things where what the wife can make a commitment, right? But the husband, a commitment to the Most High, the husband has the space to disannul it. That's the power and authority that he gave of the husband or the father of his wife or daughter. Okay. So it will be counterproductive for them to say, I'll do it. And then the house, no, we ain't commit to that. Right. So the Most High is still showing order so we can understand it. Does that mean that women are second class citizens? No. Does that mean they can't be holy? No, it has nothing with that, beloved. All right. This is the order that he designed. Okay. So having them there is very important, and how the protocol will go. It'll go to like the mediator, right? Then it'll go to like the top people, right? Them when we had the priest, like the priest, the prophets, all those things, and it'll trickle down to the fathers or the chiefs of the tribes, and it'll trickle down effect. All right. The women didn't give it to the children, right? That's how the messages go down. They didn't have radios and all that stuff. That's how it will go down. Okay. So to the young men which offer burnt offerings, sacrifice, peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. So we look at verse 5, beloved. Once again, don't let people put you in another trap. Okay. Was sacrifices, were all sacrifices for sin? All sacrifices for sin. Go ahead, brother guy.
No, not at all. These offerings, a burnt offering and a peace offering, is a free will offering. This is something they had to do on their own accord. You can read it in Leviticus 1 concerning the burnt offering and the peace offering. I believe it's in Leviticus 4. I can be wrong, but this was a voluntary offering. This was not a sin offering right here. And I was going to bring that up. You noticed he didn't say that, they built an altar and they started offering the offering according to sin, because they just entered into that covenant, so they clean now. They had no sin on them. So a peace offering or a burnt offering is an offering just to let Yahweh know that you are thankful. You know what I'm saying? That there's peace between the both of you. And that's it. It ain't got nothing to do with sin offering. And a burnt offering the same way, it's something that you want to do on your own accord. That's it.
Yeah, so we can when we had the law set up, yes, there were some things for sin. A lot of times we were doing that because we were sinning a lot. So a lot of that sacrifice were predicated around that. However, it wasn't every sacrifice and offering was because you sinned, right? There's some things you're just thankful for what the Most High is doing. You ain't have a particular sin in mind. I want to thank you. I just want to give you something, right? Like we have tithe, we have offering. Like I just want to offer. I'm going to give you these things. All right. So there was sacrifice and stuff designed for that as well. Okay. So I just wanted to know that, because you'll hear people say things because they didn't study it. They just heard it and will regurgitate things we heard. Guilty of that as well. Heard things, regurgitated. Okay. Every sacrifice, it didn't say had to be for sin. Okay. There are some sacrifices, beloved, that an animal's not even involved in. But a lot of people don't know that. I believe because it says meat offering, but when you read it, it really should be grain offering. Okay. So it's just good to, look at these things and don't hear somebody just jump to things, because this is how people create some of these doctrines, and it messes us up, right? Because we just regurgitate and not really understanding. Okay. So just want you to know that. All right. Yes, there are a lot of them that was for sin, but everyone wasn't particularly because, I personally sinned, so I need to do this sacrifice. No. Okay. Some of them just wanted to give something to the Most High, whatever. and they will do offerings as well. Right? So verse 6 is going to be very important as we go in it. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins. All right. So half of it's in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. Right. So let's keep reading. I'm not even going to go into it yet because it's still connected. No, you read 6 and 7, right? Did you read to 7? I believe Brother Kai did. All right, so let me do it. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basin, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, all right, and read it in the audience of the people. All right. So what is the book of the covenant that he's talking about, beloved?
My bad, bro. I had it on mute. Yeah, I did read that verse.
Read 7? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what is the book of the covenant? What is the book of the covenant? What is the book of the covenant? These things are very important. Definitely when Paul be talking, because a lot of us do not understand what Paul's talking about. You have to know some of these things because this is what he be talking about and trying to get us to Christ. He's using certain things that a lot of times we might not understand. You can understand the overall message, but there's a lot of detailed things he will use if you know the Lord. Like, oh, okay, I get where he's going. All right. What is the book of the covenant?
Ten Commandments.
10 Commandments. All right, take that. Is that all? What's this up?
Also the judgments, after the commandments was given, like in the ordinances, like if you break a specific law, what was to be carried out according to that. So it was also the judgments.
Go back to verse 3. Read verse 3 for us, Brother Kai.
Verse 3. And Moses came and told the people all the words of Yahweh and all the judgments. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh have said will we do.
So they hear all the words in the judgment. So it was all the stuff, right? Everything that the Most High's commanded, they said, we will do. So going down to verse 7, he took the book of the covenant. Why is he calling it the book of the covenant? I want to shred this to pieces so we can understand. Why is he calling it the book of the covenant? Because it's what we're reading, beloved. This is the book of the covenant. You're going to hear different names. Some people get caught up. Oh, that's Moses' law. See, they don't want to grab this part. Some of them don't even know it. You try to throw off by saying it's Moses' law. I get what you're trying to say. I get it. But you have to understand what that means. Okay? The book of the covenant, the answer's in it. Is the book that what? Has the covenants in it. What we agree to. A covenant is what? Like a pact between people, right? This is our covenant that what? We will do the words in this book. This is why God said, I'm telling Moses to give him my words. This is where he's writing the words that we are agreeing to do it. Okay? So this is a book of the covenant to us that believe. Say it again, beloved. This is a book of covenant to us that believe. There are some people that say, I don't want to deal with that book and everything. I'm not holding them to this covenant. But if you say you believe in the Most High God, you are saying that this is your book of the covenant, that you're entered into the covenant. All right? So he took the book of the covenant and listen what he said, and read it in the audience of the people. So he's reading it just like we're reading today. And they said, all that the Lord have said, we will do and be obedient. What did we just do there, beloved? Well, the Kai did say it, but somebody else. What just happened in verse 7?
They agreed. They made a promise.
They made a promise. We enter into the covenant. We said what? I'll do. Right? Just like marriage, you said, I do. All right. We enter covenant with the Most High right here. Some people have no idea. We're talking about going away from the old covenant, this new covenant, right? Talking about that kind of, you have to understand what he's dealing with, what he's talking about. Okay. So we enter into that covenant in verse 7. We will do, all right, we will be obedient. Why this is predicated around Israel? Because Israel was the only full nation together hearing this and agreeing with it. Now, there were offshoots of other nations connected with Israel, but as a nation, we enter into a covenant. Okay? So this is why it was very specific for us. Now, let's read 8 and 9. I'm sorry, did anybody have anything before we move on? Is there other points we can draw from this? No, let's read verse 8, and then let's go to Hebrews after that.
And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant which Yahweh had made with you concerning all these words.
Right.
Then went up Moses and Aaron.
Now you stop there. Hold on real quick. Yeah, let's go to something else. So if Moses took the blood, right? Talking about the blood, because people have no idea what the blood represents for certain things. He took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, Behold, the blood of covenant, which the Lord have made with you concerning all these words. What is that blood doing? What is that blood doing, beloved? Why was blood sprinkled? Remember, the blood is sprinkled on the altar. The blood is sprinkled on us. What is happening? There ain't no spiritual blood. This is the blood, beloved. They got hit with blood.
Cleansing.
Say it again, it's a little muffled.
Say cleansing.
You said closing or covenant?
Cleansing.
Oh, cleansing. That's part of it. What else is it doing?
Covering.
Cleansing, covering, absolutely.
It signifies a covenant.
Enter into that covenant and binding us. Okay? You're bound by that blood covenant now. All right? It's like you'll hear it in TVs and movies and stuff like, it's a blood covenant, right? It can't be broken. You ever hear those things on TV? This is the stuff they're talking about. But it's that blood covenant. When you see out a movie, what that mean? Basically, you got to die if you want to break this. That's how serious a blood covenant is. You get that in the scriptures. Okay? So that blood is joining us, all right? He took the blood of the book of the covenant, read in the audience. We said, obey. And Moses took the blood, sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant, all right? You need the blood of the covenant, which Yahweh have made with you concerning all these words. We are now binded to this book of the covenant, okay? You need blood to enter into the covenant and be bound by the covenant. Now, when you understand Christ, you understand why he needs to come in what? A flesh suit. Why he had to get from the tribe of Judah, right? He had to come with that blood to what? Enter in, and you need that blood to what? Bind us to this covenant. Because you can't get out of that covenant because you want to. No, blood. All right, so that new covenant, we needed what? Blood. Not the old blood, because this was done with what? What blood was used for this one? What blood was used to bind us to this covenant, beloved? Animals. Now we are bounded to what? Christ. With better promises. This is what Paul talked about. So it needed what? A better sacrifice. Why? Because it'll get us into a better covenant. The Most High is very poetic how he's doing this. This is why he's saying the law is a schoolmaster. Because if you understand this, you can understand really why Christ did and how he came and why he had to do it just like that. People just look at, oh, he just died on the cross and rose. Ah, that's good, right? That's good. But there's a lot of intimate details we are leaving out. Okay? Let's hold this. All right? Let's go to Hebrews now. Let's go to Hebrews. Because some people get tired of, the same thing, but they cut out half the book. But a lot of people have no idea these kind of things, these kind of symbolism things that's happening, right? Because they threw away what? The schoolmaster. All right? They said, listen, you gotta throw away that old because we don't have to worry about that. We don't got to worry about what we learned from preschool all the way to high school. We in college. When does that ever make sense? But this is what they teach you. If I forget everything that's in the schoolmaster done taught me, I'm not going to get what's happening in college. I forget how to add, subtract, multiply, and everything. There's no way I'm going to understand algebra or whatever, calculus in college. But the teachers have made us dumb. Okay? Let's go to it. Hebrews chapter 9. And some of it not, I'm going to always say, some of them not doing it intentionally. All right? I do want to put this. Sometimes it's not intentional. There's certain things I didn't know and I'm doing wrong. So it don't have to always be intentional. But however, the damage is out there. All right? And we have to pray to the Most High, Lord, correct it and clean us up. All right? We don't want to lead the people wrong. All right? Or astray. So we're not going to all this. Let's go to I'm just going to go to the point, but this is a real good chapter. Okay, let's go to verse 18, Hebrew 9 and 18.
Whereupon,
I'm sorry. I'm going my own rule. Let's go up to 16.
for where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
What is that talking about? Right? We know from the law that what? There got to be a death for the testator. Okay? So where a testament is, there must also, what, of necessity be a death of the testator. All right? Because the blood gives it strength. Okay? Read verse 17.
For a testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth.
Yeah. While they're there, all right, they got a little bit of strength, but once they die, it's over. Okay? So that's why I said, otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth. All right? Even some things that Christ was saying, that big enforcement happened what? When he died into that covenant. Right? Let's keep going. Verse 18.
Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood.
What is he talking about, beloved? What's the first testament? All right. That's dealing with what we're talking about, the law. All right. It was what? It wasn't dedicated without blood. That means it wasn't without blood that we got the first testament. All right. How that was dedicated, sanctified, cleansed it, all that blood gave it that. So he's saying just like the first testament wasn't without blood, read verse 19.
For when Moses had spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats with water and scarlet wood and hyssop and sprinkled both the book and all the people.
So you see, the first testament is talking about what? what we have, the Mosaic, that what they call the Mosaic law, right? That stuff, that's the first testament. So we got it. There's another spot that he's linking with this part as well. Because you're going to see he does sprinkle the water and everything in another spot. So he sprinkled it with what? The blood of calves and bulls. That was bringing the force or the strength behind it. All right. So he's still using that thing of blood and everything to what? Sprinkle and what? Is binding them together. All right. So the first testament had blood. He's making this point to say what? The next one needs blood. Because the Most High was showing us through the schoolmaster, blood needs to be there to join it, to put you under that covenant. Okay. Verse 20.
Mhm. Saying, this is the blood of the testament which God hath enjoined unto you.
He said what? This is the blood of the what?
Testament.
Now the book is the testament, right? It's the book. The book didn't have blood, but what? The sacrifice. So that's that's connected. And that's what? Which God hath enjoined unto you. Now we are connected with this. Our fates are connected with this covenant. That's why when Israel was acting buck wild and we start going out dealing with other gods, that blood that joined us together, it started to get us. Because it's a blessing to be under this testament and this covenant, but also there's a curse connected to it. And this is where people mess it up and say, see, Moses' law about curses. I can show you right where Paul's saying it's worse to be under this one after trotting under the blood of what? Of Christ. And you start going off. He said it's a worse punishment. He said, you thought Moses was bad. You thought the first testament punishment was bad. He said it ain't nothing compared to Christ. So when they try to throw you off and say there's so much worse, it's worse when you understand Christ. Right? So, and I want you to understand, it's worse as in the punishment. Because if you leave out of Christ, that's it. He's saying there's nothing else we can do for you. There's no sacrifice we can do if you walk away from Christ. Everybody need to know that, beloved. You can walk away from me, beloved. Don't walk away from the Most High. Okay? There's no other redemption. There's no other route we can go. We have to go through Christ. Okay? So this is the blood of the testament which God have enjoined unto you. All right? Verse 21.
Moreover, he sprinkled with the blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry.
All right? Because they're supposed to be set apart, sanctified. Okay? Everything. With the Most High is cleansing. He's trying to cleanse it all. Because these are all instruments for his praise and glory. So he wants that set apart and sanctified, right? We are instruments of God. We're supposed to be what? Set apart. It's a difference from God's instruments and the world instruments. It's a difference from God people in the world. It's a difference from our book in their book. It's a difference. The Most High is causing that separation. If you need to know, am I in the right lane with the Most High? Look how much you are compared to the world. And that will tell you. That will be your gauge for you. All right? Moreover, he sprinkled the blood, tabernacle, and all the vessels of the ministry, verse 22.
And almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission.
Oh, I know we had this during Passover. We're going over some of this, right? And almost all things are by the law purged with blood. The law tells you what? Blood purges. Sister said it's a cleansing as well. Absolutely. The law tells you that. See, people, oh, it's the blood. You don't even, that's what? Purging. Supposed to purge you. Okay? And without shedding of blood is no remissions. This is why Christ had to come, what? As a man like us. All right? That he could come, he was the son. When he was in heaven, he was still the son, but he was just in spirit form. All right? But the son had to come down. But he didn't have blood, so he had to get what? He had to go according to the law. All right? Spirit don't got blood according to the law, but what? We do. So that's why he had to grab out of what? Generations he grabbed, and he went into what? That body, house of Judah, to get what? Blood. Not just any blood, but really the blood of the king. There's a lot of things he was dealing with. He didn't just pick any house. He got the right house, because that's the rightful heirs to the king to be ruling Israel. So you see, it's a lot of things in this thing, beloved. Not just doing things willy-nilly. It's reasons why he's doing it like this. And Paul is trying to get us a lot of these things. He's really dissecting a lot of these things for us. Okay. So without blood, there is no remission. With blood, things are purged. Verse 23.
It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these.
What is verse 23 saying? I'm getting excited. I'm talking a lot with all these. What's verse 23 saying, beloved? We'll walk it down line by line. Okay. Verse 23. It was therefore necessary. So that means it's needful. All right. Now I thought it was okay. No, he said it was necessary. It was needful that the patterns of things in the heavens. So there's a certain pattern in heaven. There's a certain way of how things work in heaven. And if I had time, if we was doing Hebrews, I can really walk this down with you. But even how the temple set up, all that stuff is a heavenly pattern. Moses, when he gave us, we had a replica of the heavenly pattern. Okay? So it's necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these. Okay? Then it says what? But the heavenly things themselves, which better sacrifices than these.
Mm-hmm.
So we had some things, beloved. How was things getting purged here? We had the bulls and goats, right? That was purging. That's what the instruments in the temple was getting clean from that. The people, we were getting clean and enjoying what? With the animal, the blood of animal sacrifices. It was a reason why he did it that way. Because this was what? A foreshadowing of the true covenant, of the true binding of us together. Okay? So when he gave that to us, all right, now we look, okay, the old covenant, we got all this through animal sacrifices, right? Through calves and bulls and goats. That's why he's telling you this. But if we are now going to more of a heavenly realm of things, don't it make sense that we should have a better sacrifice? Okay, see how he's trying to show us something, beloved? If these priests, right, made under the law could be all wicked and feel all this stuff, now that we're going back in the order of Melchizedek, shouldn't it be a better cleansing than before? All right, so he's trying to get to understand, beloved, we was in a good thing. Remember, during that time, it's all about Moses. It was all about it, right? But he's trying to show you, listen, Moses had something for that time, that covenant. But we are getting something better through Christ. Okay? So the symbolism he's showing, yeah, we have bulls and goats, but I got a what? Better sacrifice. Okay? And that's what he goes into, taking away the first to establish the second, those kind of things. Say, y'all, we had the bulls and goats, but there's something better than that. There's a better sacrifice than that. Okay? But we're not going to all that today, but y'all should know that because we did teach that. I did teach that with the blood and stuff. All right? All right, Brother Kai, let's see what Paul is bringing out more. Verse 24.
For Christ has not entered into the holy places made with hands,
Mm-hmm.
which are the figures of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of a God for us.
I'm sorry, I should have cut you off. For Christ has not entered into the holy places made with hands. What is he talking about? What is he talking about with Christ has not entered into the holy place made with hands? This is where we have to bring that schoolmaster, those things we learn in the Old Testament. He's talking about this, but a lot of times will go over your heads if you don't understand the Old Testament. All right. What was the holy place according to the first covenant, beloved? He's given the clue in holy place.
Yeah.
What was the holy place to us?
The temple?
You said the temple?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. The temple, and what was the holy place in that holy place?
Holy of holies.
The holies. The first covenant had the temple here, a earthly tabernacle. Okay. I want y'all to walk with me. The first covenant had a what? A earthly tabernacle. Why is it earthly? You know, earthly means sin. No, it was made of what? Earthly things. Things that are built to what? Go back down to the earth. Showing what? That this is not supposed to be a permanent thing that's supposed to last forever, or it wouldn't have been made earthly. So when you make it earthly, the Most High has already shown that this is not what I have in store for y'all forever. It has a time. So, I'm sorry. I don't want to go too far into that. All right, so it's the earthly tabernacle, yes, Holy of Holies. So he's saying Christ didn't enter into the Holy of Holies, despite y'all think it's the Holy of Holies. This is a replica. I want you to understand the Holy of Holies is a replica of what? The true temple, which is in heaven. I told you this was a design, a replica of the true. Down here, the temple should be representing heaven, right? And what's in heaven? Who's working in heaven? You have ministers, which earthly ministers are the priests, but the heavenly ministers will be what? The angels. So they are working. And then it says there's a Holy of Holies. No priest can go to the Holy of Holies. Who can go into the Holy of Holies, beloved? I've been having these atonement lessons with you, so you know some of it. Who can go into the Holy of Holies? Not you, Kai.
The priest.
High priest.
Priest. Okay. Yes. So all the priests can go into the priests can go into the Holy of Holies, the actual temple, the place, right? But then there's a curtain. And this is what Paul talks about. The first curtain they can go to, but then there's a second curtain. Behind the second curtain, matter of fact, let's show it while we're doing it. Let's see, wilderness maybe. It should be tabernacle. Let me see. All right. Oh, they still got my classic picture up here for it. All right. All right, you're gonna show it. They would do all this. Hold on. I just want to make that bigger. Let's see.
Looking for the temple.
Yeah, this is it. It just when I clicked, I thought it would just make the picture bigger. But like it started to take me to a. You just need to see that wave holies. All right. I probably can't see it from that view. Oh, there we go. All right. So can you see my my mouse, my arrow moving on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
You see that? Okay. So this first spot, you see this first pink part, all right? This will be like the whole tent. They will have a whole tent, all right? So they block it off. So you go in here, this is where they will alter the burnt offerings, and this is the washing, all right? This will be outside the holy place, all right? And see how they showing it, the holy place. This gold area is the holy place, okay? The priest only can enter into this area. All right. It ain't just one priest, there are priests, because this is where they have the shewbread, they have the menorah with the lights, and they have the altar of incense where they burn incense, which is supposed to be what? A replication of the prayers of the saints, right? and the offerings and things we're doing with them. So this is where priest with an S could be at. But only, now we see another curtain. This is another part. Okay? This is where the place where the high priest alone, listen, beloved, only the high priest at that time could get into this area. And he will only come into this area once a year. And he could not come in there without blood. He will come with what? Atonement. Okay? That's supposed to be a representation of Christ coming in there. That's why he said he did not come into the Holy of Holies without blood. He had to have blood because that's what the atonement, that feast was representing. Him, the lamb getting killed, the goat getting killed, and that blood coming in there for the sins of the people. So Christ dying, right? The lamb dying for the sins of the people is what? Bringing that blood, and he's not bringing it into this place, this Holy of Holy place. He's bringing it where? This is where Paul is pulling up at, okay? So it was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in heaven, that's what he's saying, the pattern of things in heaven should be purified with these, okay? So heaven should have better sacrifice. We're talking about the heavenly temple. It shouldn't have bulls and goats like it was in this one, this earthly one. No, it should have something better, okay? So let me make sure I'm not going ahead. Okay, so for Christ is not enter into the holy place made with hands. This is what he's talking about. That temple. He didn't enter into this temple. Okay, that's why he's saying with hands. That temple was made with what? Man's hands. All right. So Christ did not enter into the holy places made with hands. So either Holy of Holies or just the holy place in general, which are a figure. Which are the figures of the true. What is that saying, beloved? What is that saying?
Is it what you were saying before? It was just a replica, not the. It's just a figure of the true.
Perfect, mother. See how it makes a lot more sense? That temple was a replica of the what? True temple in heaven. Moses was a replica of the true Savior and mediator. Right? Now you can make these parallels. That's what he's saying. He's saying yeah, he didn't go into the one made with hands. Now he didn't go into the replica, went to the real thing. He didn't go to the shadow, he went to the image. Now you can see the depthness in it. So this thing was a shadow until you get to the image. All right? Law was a shadow. If you can understand the shadow, you can understand the image. People try to throw it away. From a shadow, you can tell what the image is looking like. Would y'all, if y'all see a shadow of an elephant and then seeing the shadow of a person, wouldn't y'all know what's what? A man don't cast the elephant. An elephant shadow don't cast a man. But when you look and see that, if you understood the law, which is the shadow, you can understand Christ. Oh, that's why it was like this. This is why you don't, because you understand the shadow. Some people don't understand even what Christ is, right? But the shadow will give you those details so you understand what he was doing. Okay? All right, let's go back. So perfect, mother. So Christ is not entered into the holy places made with hands, which are the figures of the true, all right? It's a replica, but into heaven itself. He's telling you this is where he's talking about the true holy place, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. So when we went to the old, right, we talked about the old covenant, right, the Old Testament. Remember, you were going to the Holy of Holies. What was in the Holy of Holies? The Ark of the Covenant. But on top of the Ark of the Covenant, what was there, beloved? I'm looking for two words. First one start with M-S. All right, yeah, to combine them. It was something on that Ark of the Covenant, a blank. It was something on that Ark of the Covenant. One describes what the Most High, definitely how he is when it comes to us. That's the M word. And then the S word is dealing with resting. Put it that way. Old covenant stuff. What was sitting on well, it's not technically right. But yeah, what was what was on the Ark of the Covenant? The M word, what is God? Think of an M word that describes God, the Most High. Because of this, we are not consumed.
Mercy.
All right. I'll just make sure y'all was there. All right. Mercy. The mercy, and now what's the S word? Think of the old covenant. The mercy. Somebody said it.
Mercy seat.
Mercy seat. Beautiful. All right. On our covenant was the mercy seat. And remember, when they were moving, right? They're moving through this wilderness. They will stop. And what will come down, beloved, on the temple? This starts with a C. Clouds, yes. And that's supposed to be a representation that what God's glory is coming down. His glory will come down on that mercy. That's where he was showing, I dwell. If you could understand the replica he had in the Old Testament, the Holy of Holies is where the Most High is saying, I dwell. Nobody can get to the Most High. That's another thing he's trying to show you. Don't think anybody's coming to me. I don't care what you are. I don't care how close you're doing things. You don't get to me. Only the high priest can get to me, not the earthly high priest, the spiritual high priest, his son. He can get to me. That's why he's saying, but unto himself, now to appear in the presence of God for us. What did the high priest do in atonement? They got the blood. He brought the blood for the sins of the people. And what? He took it into the holy place. He didn't stay at the holy place. He went where? He went past the first curtain. He went to the second one where the Ark of the Covenant was, where the mercy seat is. And he brought the sins of Israel to the mercy seat so we could get mercy for our sins. Wow, isn't that good? Because Christ did the same thing. So if you understood the first covenant, you understood the Old Testament, you can understand exactly what Christ did. Okay? That's what Paul is bringing out. Everybody's saying Paul deep, and they don't even understand what Paul is actually saying because he destroyed the things that he's referencing. Paul got taught from a master of the law, Gamaliel. You don't think all of his teachings is mixed with what? The law. He's just building off of it. It will seem totally new in Revelation if you never dealt with the Old Testament. But for us, we see, oh, okay, that's why he's saying that. Okay. All right. Because people think the holy place, they're just taking to heaven. A lot of times they think of heaven, it wouldn't make sense if you just have heaven and then heaven. Like, what? That don't make sense. But if you understand what? Through the law, that the holy place was our temple. Okay. So for Christ entered not into the holy place made with hands, which are the figures of the true, but into heaven itself, now to appear in the presence of God for us on our behalf, being what? Our mediator. Okay. Just like what Moses did. He advocated and was a mediator for us. All right. Or our forefathers, I should say, and foremothers. All right, Brother Kai, let's read verse 25. I didn't mean to go through this route, but we're here.
Don't forget that he should offer himself often, as the high priest entereth in the holy place every year with blood of others.
People don't even catch that. He's talking about a certain time because the high priest will go in there, what? Once a year with what? For the blood of others, because he was trying to what? Atone for the nation. But he's saying Christ don't have to do that. He ain't dying every year now that doing all that stuff for us. Nope. Verse 26.
But then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world. But now once in the end of the world hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself.
See that? Because then if he had to do a repetitive thing, he would have been dying from the beginning. All right. But he says what? He does it once. All right. He died once that what? He could put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. He is the only one that had the power to take it away fully. Because the calves doing it replicas every year, killing and doing this atonement, we were saying that this wasn't something that had the power to maintain eternity because it wasn't built to be eternal. That's why he gave us that one. But Christ, the true sacrifice, only died once, and that will last you. See, we got the real, it'll last you. But the calves and stuff was a thing to be put in place. It was temporary. All right. That's why I say now, when you got Christ, the true sacrifice, why are you going to go back to what? The temporary. Why are you going to keep killing these bulls and everything for sin and atonements when what? Christ did it. It's done. Okay. All right. Verse 27.
And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation.
All right. All right. We went off a little bit. All right. Well, we're not going to do chapter 25. That'll be the good news for y'all, beloved. Since we went that route. All right. So let's go back to Exodus 24. Okay. Let's go back to Exodus 24. But since we was there, I wanted people to see this is why we go to the Old Testament, because we're like, oh, the Old Testament is boring and this and that. I know it might not be as exciting with certain things, but there are necessary teachings we must understand. Definitely if you want to understand people like Paul, because everybody jumps to Paul and you make a mess of them because they don't understand where he's citing his sources from. Okay. All right. Exodus 24. Where we stop at? We stopped at 8. Okay. So 8, let me read 8 real quick, and then you can read right at 9. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant, which the Lord had made with you concerning all these words. What did Yahweh do at the table? He sat and said, what? Got the bread, and he said the wine. The wine is what? The blood of the... Anybody remember the words?
Lamb?
No, use specific words. Let's see if we can find it. Now, Mother, you are right with the blood of the lamb, right? But I want to get that verbiage there because it's very important. All right. Brother Kai, read verse 20. Let's start from verse 26.
And as they were eating,
Sorry, it's Matthew's 26, beloved. Matthew's 26, and we have verse 26.
and as they were eating, Yahushua took bread and blessed it and brake it and gave it to the disciples and said, take, eat, this is my body.
So he's just saying with the bread and everything, this is my body. Take this is my body. All right. Now he's about to transition, verse 27.
And he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it.
Said, drink ye all of it. All right. This is deeper than Passover, beloved. This is because you don't have to drink wine or anything for Passover. So I want you to understand he's doing something very specific for a very specific purpose. Okay. So he said, drink ye all of it. Why do you have to drink ye all of it? Verse 28.
For this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins.
It's the blood of the what? New Testament. There was blood for the what? Old Testament, the old covenant, but I want y'all to enter into this new covenant that has better promises. All right? So he's saying the blood of the New Testament, and this blood also going to do what? It's shed for what? The remission of sins for many. Just like the first one, that blood was shed for what? Many that wanted to enter into that covenant, into that first testament. All right. Let's go back to Exodus 24. Let's go back to Exodus 24. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, behold, the blood of the covenant. All right. So testament, covenant, you see both. All right. Which Yahweh have made with you concerning all these words. So when you enter into and say, you know what, I'm going to start, I want to serve God, and you got to believe in the Son, right? To get into new. So that's when you're going to take on what? His blood. Okay. Forget about being sprinkled on you, right? Because that's the thing. The first covenant is like sprinkled on you, but this thing is going to be in you. Okay. That spirit is going to be what? In you with this one. Those uses now. We have the power in us. Okay. So you drink all this, right? Okay. So now when you're doing that what we call them Passover, but really that supper that he's doing, we enter into a covenant. Okay. All right. All right, Brother Kai. Verse 9.
Then went up Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and the 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel, and they were under his feet as there were a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in its clearness.
All right. So yes, Nadab, Abihu, all them elders that were there, it says they saw the God of Israel. Now, I shouldn't have to say this because we should know it by now, but they did not see him like y'all see me right now. All right. They see him in a certain way where it's like a theophany or almost in a vision form. Okay. Because the whole point, remember, they couldn't even get close. Remember, Moses coming with me, he's making that point to let them know you're never going to get it to how intimate it's supposed to be. All right. You didn't see me like you think you see me. So when they say they seeing God, they're seeing the glory of God. Okay. So when he shows something, that's the glory of God. All right. So it's language, how he talk as well. All right. So you see a miracle. We saw God. We saw his glory. We saw his power. Right. It's one of those things. Okay. I think Ezekiel had one. Let me check. So if you ever had a dream or a vision, right, you've seen something, what you can see is a theophany, all right? That's a fancy word that you can see something like a replica or like a symbolism thing he's trying to show you. That is not him, okay? People say, oh, I seen God, he had this. No, you didn't see actually him. You've seen a replica of what he wanted to represent him, okay? All right. So he said, remember, he said that his feet was paved work as a sapphire stone, and as was the body of heaven in his clearness, right? Like his clearness, the whole body of heaven, all right? Now, listen, this is a beautiful thing to see. Don't get it wrong, all right? But it's just, they didn't see, and you can't see him, all right? There's a law dealing with that. And this is why I say a lot of people say a lot of blasphemous things because they don't understand the law, right? But you say you saw the Most High God, they all they knew you can't see him like that. You'll be dead. Okay. But people don't understand that. And this is why when you don't understand, people can say that. You think, oh man, they actually seen God. Like how you they ain't see God like that. Okay. All right, this is Ezekiel 1, and brother, let's just read verse 26. And we'll get out of here.
And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of the appearance of a man above upon it.
You see the same thing, Most High showing Ezekiel almost the same thing. All right, talking about what? Throne is above them. It's almost like they see a throne and like the likeness of a man on it. Okay, so he was showing that in that vision. The same thing you can see in Revelation. He shows that replica. So you can see when people, when some of them have visions of certain things, they're describing almost the same thing. So no take on it. They're seeing it almost the same thing. So the Most High will have something that he displays for them. All right, but it's not literally him. You will see his glory. Okay. All right. So I just wanted to show that. So we see under his feet. Remember, they say under his feet. All right. So they're showing you he's up there. You're only seeing that. You're not seeing the whole, all of it. Okay. Sapphire stone in the body of heaven in its clearness. Verse 11.
And upon the nobles of the children of Israel, he laid not his hand. Also they saw God and did eat and drink.
And same thing, eat and drink. We would do that a lot of times when we're entering into a covenant, things of that nature. Even on feast days, we have a feast day on Sunday, right? What do we do for our feast days? We eat and we drink. Okay. Verse 12. Read this, beloved. Put this in your arsenal. All right. If you missed a lot of things tonight, I want you to hear this one. Okay. Verse 12. Verse 12.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them.
Brother Kai, I think you read it wrong, because these is Moses' laws. See, this is why I tell you, people going to try to pinpoint you certain things. They're going to put it, oh no, okay, well, we accept the 10 commandments, because we know God gave Moses the 10 commandments. You hear that, don't you? But this verse says, what did he give Moses? Read that verse 12 again.
And Yahweh said unto Moses, come up unto me in the mountain, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone.
Stop. This is what? The table of stones is what? We can admit. This is the 10 commandments, right? I don't think we don't have to argue with that. So he's saying, come up here. I'm going to give you the 10 commandments. No problem. But what else is say?
And a law.
Uh-oh. So we got the 10 commandments. It says God gave him something else more than just the 10 commandments. He gave him what? A law. Did it stop there? What else?
And commandments which I have written.
Hold on. So the Most High wasn't just writing the 10 commandments. Oh no, he was giving Moses laws too, and he was giving them commandments. This is why when Christ come on the scene, remember he talked to the devil. He said, we got to do what? We got to eat every word that proceeded out of his mouth. Not just the ones you choose or the ones that benefit you. The 10 commandments is some of them, but Christ didn't say you eat some of them. He says what? You eat all the words. You have to do all the words. So Moses didn't have influence on the law and the commandments. No. It says the Most High gave Moses laws, commandments, and the tables of stone. And why did he give him this? He said, which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. The point of this is so what? His people that enter into the covenant will know about him and how he works and how he thinks. This is why when Christ come on the scene, remember the king said, where's this Christ coming from? Who did he lean to? The people. Get them elders of Israel. Because I don't know where this Messiah coming from. But they know. Why? Because what? It was in. The secrets are hidden in his laws, commandments. All right? So he said, this is our inheritance, beloved. We want to give our children inheritance to everything else but the eternal, holy inheritance that he gave to us. And don't take it wrong. Part of the law is, you want to give your children things. Don't get that twisted. Yes, you want to give those things, as you should do. But the biggest inheritance that we've got is this knowledge of the Most High God. That is supposed to be brought down as well. That's why it says, train up a child in the way they should go. You got this one. You got to train that child into this inheritance. You train him up in this inheritance. I don't care how the world is. I don't care if I never leave that child a dime. If he gets this inheritance, he's going to be all right. If she gets this inheritance, she's going to be all right. The other inheritance can go. You can lose a job. This can happen. Things can change. But one thing that can't change, one thing that's immovable, the one thing that can't be brought down is the word of God and his spirit of protection on you. It hasn't been defeated yet. All right? This is powerful words, beloved. Don't let people dilute it saying, oh, it's Moses, this is No, this is the Most High's words. And if you join yourself to them, you will get the power and the understanding from it. Because people can't tap into this. It says the knowledge comes from what? Those that do his commandments. David was trying to tell us that. You got to do this thing, then it will tap into that understanding. People are like, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. Are you starting to do it? Are you trying to do it? Well, until you try to do it, you ain't going to understand nothing. That's the scriptures. But when you put your heart to serving the Most High God, then watch your understanding start opening. People can't even count to 7 to get the seventh day. But when you desire to do right, beloved, when you put your mind to serving the Most High God, not trying to please family, not friends, not trying to look a certain way, when you put your mind to seeking the kingdom of God, I'm telling you, it's a whole different world. You get a peace that compasseth all understanding. It can seem like everything around you is burning down and things ain't working right, but you can be in total peace if your mind is stayed on him. That's the power of the book. But it will only untap itself. It will only come alive for those that seek the creator of it. Okay? So if you want the results of the book, you got to get in the book. And I'm talking about you got to seek God. Seek him. What's the big law? Seek him with all your heart, soul, mind, strength, and might. If you don't do that, stop expecting the book to be there for you. What you put into it is what you'll get out. All right? And this is just inspiration and motivation, beloved. We have to seek the Most High God with everything we have. This is the time. Like Paul says, now is the time of salvation. Now is the time we can hold. This book can be in us. This is the covenant that we entered into, that his spirit can be in us and dwell with us. It can walk with us, talk with us, provide us strength, provide us comfort. But you got to what? Believe this thing. Those that come to God must first believe that he's a rewarder, them that diligently seek him. So the question is not what's the problem with the book, what's the problem in us? If we're not getting the results, it's because we're not seeking him. See, we can blame everybody, make all these excuses. No, you got to seek him if you want the results of the book. Oh, why ain't the church, bro? Why ain't they healing like they did back then? Because you not seeking them. They was getting dreams and visions. I wonder why they ain't happening. No, they happening. You just not getting them because you ain't seeking him. You want the working of the spirit, you got to get in the spirit. He's not doing no temporary and halfway in, halfway out believer stuff. Either you're a believer or you're not. Either you're going to serve him or you're not. There ain't no more playing games with this thing. That's why Christ told that woman, he said, now the true worshipers. Because see, there were some phony worshipers, but he said, no, the true worshipers going to worship him in what? Spirit and in truth. They're going to have both. All right? So, beloved, are we true worshipers? That's what we got to ask ourselves. Are we true worshipers? And if we not, it's good. We could be transparent with the Most High. Lord, make me a true worshiper. Teach me how to be a true worshiper. All right? Because I desire to please you. I desire you to be a servant of you. If you do that and you mean it with the depths of your soul, I guarantee, beloved, I guarantee it, you will never have to worry about, did I feel God, experience God? You will know. But that only happens with our dedication and what we want to put into this. Okay? We can teach till we're blue in the face. We can show mysteries and all this kind of stuff. But you have to make the decision to serve the Most High God. I'm going to inspire. I'm going to do my part. All right? I'm going to try to encourage. I do all this stuff. But there's only a certain realm I can go with you. But there's a greater depth that happens, but it's only when what? You tap into the spirit of this book. All right. All right, Brother Kai, you're doing a lot of talking. Let's finish. Let's finish up this chapter. All right.
And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them.
Right. So there, once again, the elders, right? This is, like I said, showing protocol. So they're leaving Moses and Joshua going up there, right? Aaron and Hur are with you. All right. So now they will handle any matters. All right. The matters you'll bring to us, saying you bring to Aaron and them. Okay. Let's keep going.
And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount. And the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the seventh day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And the sight of the glory of Yahweh was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel.
And that's what it
And
said.
Moses went.
I'm sorry. Remember that our Lord is like a consuming fire, right? So you see some. That's why I say he comes in different forms. See, somebody will argue, "Oh, I seen his glory like the cloud. Oh, I seen it like sapphire. I seen it like fire." They're all correct because y'all just can't theophanies of it. This is how the Most High is showing himself in these different forms because you're not seeing all of him. Okay. So this is how we'll see it. We can see the glory of him. He can show certain glory things of him. Okay. You just have to know the difference of what that means. All right. Verse 18.
And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and got him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights.
All right. So we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that one. All right. All right. Beloved, anybody had anything they wanted to bring out? I kind of hijacked this chapter a little bit, so I apologize. But did anybody have anything? All right. Well, I hope we learned something this Bible class. Okay, we always want to ask the Most High to bring his spirit that, because he the one that give understanding, beloved. All right. It ain't teachers. You could be under the best teacher. By far, I'm nothing like a best teacher, but it's him that opened understandings, right? That's what we go Luke 24:44. It says, then he opened up their understanding. So the spirit opens up the understanding. All right. So this is why we have to stay in the spirit. We have to sometimes pray, Lord, open up my mind to receive this. Because believe me, there's times where I'm like, I don't want to receive this. Right? Because my flesh be like, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to submit to that. So you have to will yourself into it. All right. That's part of repentance. Lord, if I've been not doing it right, Lord, created me a clean heart. Even David showed us that. Created me a clean heart. Because my heart may be defiled that is rejecting all this stuff, but I desire to walk this path. All right. So if anybody going through it, we struggling, anything like that, remember, we have an advocate with the Father. That's why Christ came, to advocate for us. So use your advocate. He's already paid for. All right. He don't cost no money. He's already paid for. We ask. All right. And the Father loves to give us things that's going to what? Going to benefit. He's our Father. We ask for something that's going to benefit us to get closer to our Father. You don't think he'll do that? If you lack in faith and you need some kind of sign to help your faith, you can call upon him. He never said he won't give you a sign. Just be open to what that sign is. Lord, I want to understand it. He can open it up. He can bring somebody your way. He might smack one of us over top of the head to bring a lesson that's according with. But we have to make sure we what? Asking. All right. Ask and ye shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door should be open. There was no maybes in any of those things, but they were guarantees. So we have to just believe in those guarantees and see how good our God is. Right? All right. Since nobody had anything they wanted to add, all right. we will close it there. I will